Thank you very much for the introduction. Hello, everyone. My name is Kamil Karbowiak. I'm the managing director of a company called DataCourage. We are in business for over 17 years in reporting analytics, present in multiple locations. We have customers all around. We've also started our operations in the United States. We have built an AI practice 7 years ago and started addressing a lot of the challenges, and we're very focused on the Business Central space. This is where we come from, so the nav space, I would say, a long time ago. Yes, we're working with partners and through partners to enable Business Central users to have more of the analytical landscape. When we talk about AI, just very briefly, what this does, what the big thing about Chat GPT and everything else that is Copilot and so on, there are a lot of different things that AI can do for us. So it can summarize, it can answer questions, it can help us drive decision-making process with data in the back. It allows us to put some personalizations or recommendations for specific actions, and it also can automate a lot of the tasks. So these are kind of the four, I would say, pillars of what LLMs and what large language models now are doing. The large language models being the base for the things like Copilot or ChatGPT, for example. This is one of the aspects where we were seeing this increasing and increasing. Now AI is becoming this not just a theme, but actually something that is being used by many. Of course, we use it pretty much every day on various in various aspects, but a lot of the business owners also start looking at it, and we came up with certain ideas in terms of the nav and Business Central space on how to address it. Today, I'm going to show you three applications that are ready-made: customer intelligence, financial intelligence, and item intelligence. Three of which are very easy to be downloaded into the Business Central space. Your partner will definitely help you out with that, and you can basically start using this AI-driven apps very quickly in your environment. So let's focus on the why. We want to know why would we install anything like that. So basically, what we can do with financial intelligence is to, ensure financial planning is more accurate, reduce manual errors, and actually gain real-time AI insights. And this could be something that as broad as how is it AI? How is it real time? Because it's in Business Central, it can allow you to look at the data as it is now, and it also is AI driven, so AI can actually look into certain aspects and flag specific areas where certain improvements or certain errors have been found and so on. It's very interesting. I'll show you that in a minute. Customer intelligence. So what we want to do is in this customer area, we want to understand customer better. We want to be able to grab certain information from the outside world and understand who we're dealing with, what is this, what this customer is, without actually having to search in the internet. We want to prevent churn. Churn being the likelihood of a customer leaving our business, right? So there are certain patterns that can be addressed and seen in data that are being observed by our algorithms, and they basically flag inside of Business Central which customers have a likelihood of churning, so leaving our business. And this is something to help us prevent it with specific actions, right? And of course, optimize sales efforts, right? So when we say optimize sales efforts, what do we mean by that? It's just try to capture the ones like the best customers, for example, and try to optimize the way you talk with them, you operate with them, and help help really drive the let's say the salespeople, sales managers into this area where something needs attention. Not to search for data, whether or not it needs attention. It's actually to do something with that insight that is coming from that. With item intelligence, we also have the same idea. So we want to flag certain items that needs attention. So they're not selling, for example, they're overstocked, they're stocked for a longer period of time and so on. And trying to address that with a lot of reports might not be the most optimal way. So what we want to do is we want to show you these are really the items that we should look into because of certain things, or maybe we want to observe that we need to order more of them because they're selling off very quickly when they're in stock, right? So things like that are being flagged in the item intelligence, right? Who would use that very quickly? CFOs, business analysts, accountants in the customer intelligence, sales managers, marketing, customer success managers, item intelligence, inventory, of course, and product managers. When during customer lifecycle management, right? So the financial intelligence is here. Of course, there are things in where. So when we look at where it could be used in different aspects. And then let's jump straight into customer intelligence. So when we look at the customer intelligence, this is an app that provides us AI-driven multilingual insights. So it can be used straight out of the box in Dutch or any other language. We monitor things like customer lifetime value. So we calculate it for you within the app. So your Business Central instance or tenant will gain this new functionality, which will calculate your CLV for any customer that you have in the database, and it's going to be updating as the transactions are being posted, right? It's also going to show you the probability of being alive, the churn, and also it will show you the groups that will be dynamically created. So it will group the customers into groups depending on their behavior, right? And it's going to name them. And of course, we've got some Power BI dashboards embedded in the solution as well. Yeah, so this is how it looks like. So we can see the two major aspects of it. Once the algorithm runs, we can see the division of the churn probability levels. We can see the different customer groups that are being named, and we also can see the magical CLV, customer lifetime value for this particular database, and we can see also the number of groups that have been created. We have also added a new functionality of Compare Hub, so we can see the fluctuations between the groups. So we can see, for example, from last week and this week, where this customer has moved, right? So has it moved to the high probability churn? Has it moved to, let's say, occasional buyer from a very loyal, frequent buyer customer? So we can observe these changes with the Compare Hub as well. So why is the CLV important? Because this is a strategic aspect of the business that should be monitored. And of course, if you're increasing your CLV, this leads you to increased revenue over time. It can help you find issues so that you can boost loyalty and retention of the customers. It helps target the ideal customers, because basically we can see by the CLV being calculated who are our ideal customers. They're repetitive, and of course, they're buying in higher amounts. Increasing, of course, the CLV can reduce the customer acquisition costs. Yeah, so we can get the money from the customers. Of course, we know the rule of acquiring a customer is much more costly and expensive than actually retaining it. And also CLV can simplify financial planning, and of course we can see that CLV trends can show us how to improve our sales of the specific products and customer and services. Yeah. So here is something that out of the box, gets into our Business Central. It actually allows us to see the different descriptions of the groups, and a lot of the KPIs are being calculated, and some things are being showed to us over here. Yeah. When you look at customer insights on any customer that we have, we can click on the button, and it's going to tell us the story about this customer. So even if we do not understand, or anyone in the business do not understand what CLV means or something like that, we can see a lot of the descriptions, and they're being generated dynamically. Each of those segments will be generated depending on what data will be aggregated for each customer, right? So if we choose one customer, we can click on a button. It's going to generate the kind of a summary of what was happening, how do we do business with this customer, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So let's go straight into the demo so that I can show you that quickly. All we have to do is find out. Okay, I hope you can see our Business Central screen. So here it is. When the customer intelligence is being downloaded from the app source, it's being activated. And then all we have to do is just run the algorithm and set up the in the jobs so that it can refresh and redo the calculations every week or every month, or how often would you like it to. And then it's going to divide our customers into these dynamically created groups. So some of your, if you connect it to a smaller database, if you connect it to a specific database with certain data patterns, it's going to show you specific groups of these customers. And then you can, for example, target one-time buyers and say, well, okay, so these guys have bought just once. Let's do something with them. Let's do certain marketing campaigns with them, for example. Yeah. We also can look at the not active customers. We can see that we have some anomalies in data that will be dynamically shown to us. Yeah. What these anomalies can be? Well, a lot of ambiguities in data patterns, in a lot of the aspects of something that doesn't make sense. Yeah, because normally there are certain patterns that we can see, and in the anomalies we would see the customers that have something wrong in the data, or in the way that they behave from other pack of customers. Yeah, there's a lot of different things that are being put into this. We can see some unusual behavior customers, and this can mean different things for each of the databases. Here we have the churn probability as well. So we can see that we've got 15 customers that are on a higher probability of churning. We, of course, can look at this data. We can start understanding the different KPIs that are being calculated here, such as the purchase interval. So how often do they buy? What's the customer rating? Very important thing that we calculate as well. So we can rate all of our customers, and then it's going to be given a specific number. And we can, of course, monitor how do they rank. It's not just on the sales. It's not on the how often do they buy. It's on multiple aspects of their visibility in the business. And then if we go to the customers area itself, what you will see is a small dashboard that we have also created, and is being plugged in to monitor these aspects. It's loading data for each of the customers. We can see the sales trends. We can see the specific categories of items that are being sold. All of that is embedded, and we also have this aspect of the customer intelligence, so we can see which group this customer is in, loyalty, monetary frequency, some of the more important pieces as well. And like I said, if we don't want to maybe look at all of those numbers, but we would like our customer intelligence to generate our customer insights based on everything that it knows about this customer. Let me just go back to the customer that I have active. So what it does, it now in real time in front of us. Of course, it supports the history, so it's going to do that, and then we can view this later. It's going to show us various aspects of what he finds about this customer. Yeah. So truly, large language model and our algorithms as well are being put together to describe a little bit the story about this customer. Yeah? So it's going to look at the payments, going to look at the sales, it's going to look at what this customer is buying. It's going to assess it based on other customers as well. And performs it in front of our eyes. Yeah, so we can see that we've got this concerning trend in high volume of unpaid invoices, and of course this is a demo database, so we are not posting the payments too much. With 33 out of 68 of remaining unpaid, the accounts for a substantial unpaid amount of the balance, average days late. So a lot of the information that is being calculated for us for this particular customer. Loyalty and purchasing behavior. So we can see that it landed in a loyal frequent buyers category. Customer rating is 34 out of 135 with the company's clientele. And we can see that this indicates a strong relationship with the customer, who is described as very profitable, buys relatively often. Yeah? Then some further considerations about the sales trends and seasonality. We also have the product and performance and inventory management. So kind of connecting this to the items that are being sold for this customer and an aggregation of that information. Invoices and sales analysis, and some strategic recommendations. So imagine that you want to review this, you want to have a phone call with whoever and want to go through a lot of the aspects in the conversation. This gets revealed to you in seconds. And last but not least, on the customer intelligence side, being conscious of the time, because we've got quite a lot more on the Power BI section as well to show. What I wanted to show you as a sample is that we've also created something for the company information. I told you that we can get insights from the external world. So nothing from your Business Central goes to external, but what we want to do and what we did in this part of the company information piece is we can grab information from outside world and store it for the information for us. Yeah. What that means, this is a sample with the DataCourage. He's going through various sources in real time, and he's going to aggregate a little bit of the compiled and compelling story about what DataCourage is, where we are located, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so we can see that it went through multiple areas, and we can see the overall piece, and we can do that with any company that we have at stake, and it's going to be stored as well. Is going to be stored as well in your tenant for further reference. Yeah. So this is what we brought in largely on the customer intelligence sides. Yes, there is the whole Power BI segment to it where we can look at various aspects of it. And it gets created and loaded, and it also reads the whole information. The Power BI report in it is also beautiful, lets us track history and so on and so forth. But since we have two more to go, I would like us to maybe further, unless you want to see the customer intelligence dashboard, then please notify me about it. So let me just move quickly into the item intelligence. So what this shows you is very similar concept to what we showed on the customer side. So if you look at what we've done, we want to create insights for you based on the data that you have, that you collect, but you have got no tools and knowledge, let's say, to use machine learning algorithms inside of Business Central, because it actually would require quite a lot of work. So this is what we're trying to unravel and bring to your attention. So this also looks at the items and divides it into various categories depending on the behavior. So in this database, it looks like this, but in other databases, there are, I think, 20 some plus groups that can be defined and can be viewed. So we can see that over a period of 1 month, because that's how we set it up. And of course, it can be changed to weekly. It can be looked at, changed to daily. We can, on every week or every month, we can see and monitor the performance of of our items. Yeah. So the algorithm runs in the asynchronous mode, so that it doesn't clog the let's say the Business Central tenant. And what we can do is he is detecting that there are 7 items that we need to clear out from the inventory. Why and what stands behind it, we can of course unravel that with dashboards and so on. We're going to go into this. There are other recently introduced items that are that all stocks has been sold out. We also have some 96 obsolete items. Yeah. We can see some bestsellers and other items. And if we go into each of those styles, again, these styles are dynamically created, so yours might be different. What we can see is some summary information about those different items. And what I can do quickly is to go to item insights. Yeah, and item insights is a tool quite similar to customer insights. Yeah, so it's going to aggregate a lot of data. It's going to show us the story that is also going to be kept within Business Central. So each time you're not going to have to wait that long, and it's going to show you and collect that data for us and tell us about a story. So if someone is considering reviewing specific items that are being sold in our company, he wants to understand what's going on. We can see that very quickly in those 5 aspects that we're producing here. Yeah. So summary of sales history. We can see that this was sold to a total of 60 customers and on 819 orders. Some peaks have been detected, clear seasonality in sales patterns. We can see the lower and higher sales. Can be, of course, attributed to holiday season special promotions. And of course, there are some information about the suggestions about the sales and marketing strategies and short-term actions. Yeah. Okay. And of course, we can review those just let me clear my throat a little bit. And if I go to the item itself, it's going to show me also a small Power BI report. This, of course, needs to be installed. So the Power BI embedded piece has to be installed. It takes about half an hour to actually set it up because everything is ready. The only thing that needs to happen is to plug it into a proper space and fire it up. So we can see a small segment for each of those items, and we can see those pieces of information for the items that, of course, are selling, and they have some sales history. It's going to show us the peaks in comparison to the previous period, which is now set to 1 month. And we can also see the item intelligence aspect. And item intelligence is going to show us Stock level by quantity, is it high or low in comparison to the other stocked items? What's the sales trend look like? Is it on the rise? Is it on the drop? Is it an important item from the revenue standpoint? And what is the price ratio? So are we selling it at a price, at a full price, or we are already discounting it? And all of that is being also detected by the algorithm. And we can also look at the history, back at the history. So we can go back in time and say, okay, so let me review this for the 1st of June, 2022, how the story looked like then. So we've got this history component in all of our items. And quite similarly, if we go to our Power BI report, I'll just go and expand it once it loads. And I hope you will see that, yes, it's inside of the same window. And of course, I could open this up to the full screen, but then I would have to switch it on Teams as well. So very, hopefully quickly, it's going to load the data. And there are a lot of different sides to it. Yeah, so we can see the stock group performance. We can see how the items are migrating from one group to another. So, are we having, and this is really incredible when you look at it in the real data scenario. So we have customers that are using it, and you can see from those patterns what is happening with their stock items. Yeah. When you look at the fluctuations, same with the customers. We've got the same for the customers, where you can see how how certain group of customers is migrating to another. Yeah. When you're observing this, you've got this next extra level of knowledge that you gain, because you're now looking at at an overall picture. And you can go and see certain patterns in the data and then make the decisions. Yeah. Here we have specific exploration of those items. So we can see the revenue that each of those groups is generating. Yeah? We can see the sales quantity during this classification period that it's generated for us as well. We can view any of those items here, but we can go into the exploration of the item intelligence. And when I showed you the clear it up category, it becomes kind of clear for us, for example, when we can see that these items that have been created here are on this lower range. They're low in terms of the stock level quantity. There's a sales drop. We've got the low revenue items, and for example, they're highly discounted. And of course, with real data scenarios, these things are more evident. So we're trying to enable the decision making with the data supporting it. Yeah. So this is on the on the item intelligence. If you have any questions, please do. I'll jump into our last segment, which is I think it's really interesting as well from the financial standpoint, because we're going to move into the financial intelligence. I skipped part of the story with the slides. Forgive me for that. So some of the slides that are being shown here, you've seen on demo. And then let's jump into the financial intelligence. So this, I think we went really above and beyond. Yeah. Because what you can do with that tool, once you plug it into Business Central, if you don't know anything, if I don't know anything about each of the tenants, if I was to install this app, and if I didn't know what this company is doing, how are the financials, what kind of recommendations would it give me, what are the sales trends, what are the different categories that are making up the profits, what are the costing challenges, and so on and so forth. All of those questions can be asked and answered within 5 minutes from installing the app. And we're going to go through this process very quickly. So what it does, it can analyze the GL accounts data once connected, and create reports, very interesting reports as well, because these reports are drill downable. They're all in Business Central. Financial people love it in many ways because they can see and see the adjustments. They can see certain things that have been posted in last moment and things like that. So from the reporting standpoint, it's a great tool. And then we also have this Q&A, right? So we can actually ask questions to our chart of accounts. We can do it in any language. So what you can see here is for example, an example of the German statement. And all of that is being created automatically. We can see, we can map the accounts. We can map the accounts to the P&L. So a lot of really great benefit. It does it automatically. And of course, you can still interact and interfere with this process. Yeah. So all of that can be done as well. Then we have some frequently asked questions, because one of the really key features of that is how do we enable AI, OpenAI, Microsoft OpenAI to be able to answer specific questions. And this is what we did. And it actually the part that we're proud of is that it actually makes a lot of sense. It's really giving the 100% right answers. We spend a lot of time on trying to not for this to hallucinate, right? So that it gives you the consistent and good answers. Yeah. So what kind of questions would you be able to ask? Yeah. So these are the questions that we have not prepared. It's not that it's prepared question and you're gonna get some answer. You can ask literally any question that you want around this financial data. Then if it has the answer, it's going to give you the answer. If it doesn't, and of course, I will not go into the nitty gritty of how it works in the background, but we're going to start addressing a lot of other aspects in this application, but it's really showing us great value already. Yeah. So things like which expense categories have deviated most from our budgets and why. Yeah. Imagine how many reports you would have to run to actually get this insight. Yeah. What strategies can we implement to improve margins in underperforming areas? Right. Something that if you think of what large language model can do, what AI can do, this is really where this expands on the knowledge. It can give you ideas as well, right? Which product lines or services are the most profitable this quarter? Things like that. Yeah. What are the main factors affecting our net profit margin? Explain them as well. So this is really cool. Uncover declines and increases over the last year. Alternatively, show me things that doesn't look right. Is there anything that I should be concerned about as a CEO around these numbers? Flag anything that doesn't look right with the flag tag before the insights you're providing. Yeah. So something like that can also be asked. Yeah. And this is really how this looks like. Yeah. So it looks at the numbers and it gives us a lot of information. Yeah. I'll show you this in a second, but just wanted to show you how how this looks like. Yeah. As a joke, are we going bankrupt? And we can see that it's giving us some also information about whether or not this company is there. Yeah. So let's go and switch to the demo once again. All right. So here it is. Excuse me. And I will do that once in Dutch because I know that this is also interesting. So when I install the app, in the chart of accounts section, of course, you need to have access to this section, and you need to have access to this financial intelligence. What we can see is a regular chart of accounts, and then I have this financial intelligence installed. There is the app management where we normally activate it, and we land up in a completely new place where we're creating something that is called templates. Yeah. So what this does, it actually can it has to learn the structures So we can evaluate profit and loss statements. We can evaluate balance sheets. We're going into cash flow and other iterations of that. And what this does really is we are now saying, okay, so go and analyze what we have to what do we have here. And he's going to ask us a question: in which language would you like this to be created? So I do have an English created, but in front of your eyes, I can do the custom, and I can choose, for example, Dutch, and click yes. And now what it's going to do is he's going to analyze the different chart, the whole chart of accounts, and it's going to create a ready-made template for the profit and loss for this company. And this is a basis for us to start addressing multiple questions. Yeah. So first of all, when you're creating a P&L, when someone in finance is creating a P&L, he needs to first create a structure itself. Then this P&L has to be mapped to specific accounts in the GL account. So we also took care of that. So it's very easy to start an implementation with that tool when you need to create your first P&L statements after, I don't know, first month of the operations, and you want to check it, you want to see that running. This allows us to do it effortlessly. Yeah, and we still have the interaction, right? So we still once it completes that, it will give us the possibility to interact with it and change the values, change it. Now we've also exposed it to Excel. We can export it to Excel. We can modify it in Excel, import it back. So these things, these functionalities also exist. Yeah. It's going to it is working on it. I'm certain it's going to finish, but yes, it is it's a process. It's not something that we do pretty much every day, but we need to compile these these aspects over here. Yeah. And then what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to switch my front to front end of Business Central to Dutch, and then we're going to be able to ask questions. I will be able to ask questions in English, and it's going to be able to reply in Dutch, yeah, based on the user interface. Yeah, of course you can ask in Dutch, and then as well the result will be also coming up in Dutch. So what we have here, even though my English based chart of accounts has been created, I also have my my template going to all the net profit. I can update it with if I knew that, or if I knew what I wanted to do this, I could also tell him, tell the AI to consolidate specific parts of this P&L version. But in this case, I'm just going to create indentations automatically on that, right? Something that a lot of the financial, so P&L Dutch, and so this is one model. One model is creating our P&L structure, right? Very quickly. Then I can do mapping management. So what's mapping management? I need to create the mapping of this P&L. So all the accounts, something that is tedious. If we have organizations that needs to, they're adding some accounts, they need to then decide where to put it. That's what it does for us. Yeah, so it's mapping all of our GL accounts into our P&L structure that we just created. Yeah, so if I was to install it in front of you and do that, that would be the process, really. Yeah, and then the fun part starts after that. Yeah. So we're gonna map it. I'll change it to Dutch, and then we're gonna start generating insights from it. Yeah. So all of those are mapped. Of course, this is something to be reviewed, but the great check. The great check on that is, okay, this is saved. Of course, we can update the mapping and so on and so forth. But the crucial part of that is that I can now go to my P&L. It's going to show me the mapping that I just created. I'm going to go to the place where I have data. Yes, it has the ability to do this in any dimension as well. So all of the dimensions are covered. And now I can see very quickly, I can go to, you can see that in the splits of minutes, I would say, I do have my net income for that specific piece. I've got different layouts for that. I've got drill downs on any of those lines, even on the summing lines as well. So if I go to my, for example, net income, I'll go into the net income drill down coming from all of the GL accounts. Yes, I do have all of my advanced dimensions, so I can actually go and define my advanced dimension, and it really works brilliantly. So I can go to my, I don't know, item category, purchase it. This functionality itself is amazing because there's nothing like that exists in Business Central that works so fast in terms of the advanced filtering. Because now when I have this LH and purchasing, I can just regenerate the report, and it's going to show me all these aspects very quickly. Yeah? I also can save the versions of the reports, so I can go to save report, and when I have restore function and something has actually changed in the structure or something like that, I can compare it. Yeah, so I can also see values here on the restored version of the report. So let me just go and compare those two, and you can see that there are two lines, and if anything changes in the values between the current month and compared month, this will be also revealed to us very quickly. But let's go and generate report generate insights. Yeah. So first of all, I will show you the generated insights that we have in the English version before I switch to the Dutch one. And let's clear this one off. Okay, we've got the balance, we've got the P&L. This one, for example, got the mapping. Clear this filter. So here is my piece. What I want to do is for AI to actually evaluate what's going on based on those numbers. Yeah. And at the moment, I had generated this today just to save you wait, but we're going to do the same in Dutch. Yeah. So this is really something that is going to show us when we click on this button of evaluation. Gives us the revenue and sales performance information, gives us the cost of goods sold, operating expenses, depending on what the structure of the P&L is. It's going to give us those pieces. You can see that we planted the seed of some unusual patterns. So there is an increase in capacity cost applied over 50 million% under cost adjustment. Seems like an anomaly, and further investigation is needed, required in its nature and to understand its nature and impact on the financial statements. So there will be certain things that it's going to show us, and then we can support it with reports. So again, it's insights driven. When we have those questions, I'm not going to see the history. I'm just going to ask the question on the fly. We have those questions that I showed you. So we have, explained the dynamics of the sales revenue, which strategies can we implement to improve, certain things that we can ask here. But just in front of your eyes, I'm going to just do the explain the cost to me and compare what we're over budget. Yeah. So this thing is completely dynamic. It's going to choose which layout actually corresponds to this question, and it's going to try to show us the layout that actually corresponds to this report. We're of course expanding the number of layouts to support that, but he will actually try to explain those costing aspects to us. Yeah, the answers will be different depending on the reports, depending on the which report we're generating, whether or not it's a balance sheet P&L, because what we want to do is go to the level of trying to evaluate what's happening and then be able to also communicate with, via Teams. Certain people will have access to this tool and be able to really correspond with the financial statements that have been, let's say, checked, viewed in Business Central, and when something is to be reviewed, we can look at different channels to get that information. Yeah. So it's working on it. It's going to give us those answers. It's going to probably change the layout, and then we're going to switch to Dutch to show it quickly. But since it's working, maybe there are some questions. So here it is. Yeah. So we've got some information on multiple pieces. It's going to show us the budgets, the operating expenses, and so on and so forth. It gives us the recommendation, and also it's going to show us the aspect of the budget, yeah, in here. The number of layouts is quite big. We've got the rolling 12 months. We've got the 12 months trailing as well, and a lot of those. And you can see how fast it actually works in generating these reports and those insights. When I click on evaluate report again, it's going to ask me if I want to see the history, and then it's going to be much much faster in providing the historical answers to those reports. So let's switch into Dutch. In the meantime, do we have any questions?
There's a question in the chat, Camille. I don't know if you saw it.
I did not. Sorry about that. Okay. Just accept it. And we use a structure of a given P&L template as from a company reporting pack. Yes, we can, and we'd have to look at it and see if there's anything that doesn't look right. But yes, you would be able to import part of it, and if it follows certain structures, or we're going to make it so that it does, it will work. Yeah. You can import from Excel. Yes, it works on multiple databases, as in multiple databases. It works in Business Central only, so I don't know how, if there is anything that you could help me understand. It works on multiple databases, as in tenants or in companies. Yeah, we have 3 localizations. Yes, and localizations are defined as what, I would say? Is it just a like a company? Yeah, it's going to work. Okay. Yes, I see the answer. Yeah. Okay. I can see someone writing, so I don't want to. Okay, but I will switch in the meantime to Dutch, as I said, as part of the code items we classified as a product hierarchy model item variant. Yes, it looks like variants. It looks at variants as well. I guess okay. So I'm switching the language here, and now let's go back to the financial intelligence. Mhm. Let's say I want to do it in Dutch this time, 2022. And if I do report evaluation, it's going to start evaluating it in Dutch, and then we're going to be able to ask the questions as well. So here's the, okay, so I'm looking at this. What are cost of this toy? What are the cost of this toy? I'll refer you back to ABCE. They will be able to provide you with the cost. It's we have an incentive, a promo for all three apps if we need to, if anyone is interested. The way we put it is per company. So there's a price per company. They okay. If you've migrated last year, the beauty of this tool is that it's going to start learning with the data it has. So that what you're going to see is maybe there will be some anomalies at first, and then they will find their space, their places. Yeah, if you look at items or customers, it's going to move to specific sections kind of automatically every week or every month. Yeah, so there is no problem with that. Yeah. Again, how much how does this impact the C-level reports, and what are all the major insights one could use for continuous improvement in companies' P&L performance? Incredible questions. I think that from what we are seeing at the moment with the customers, that they of course they do not share the insight or the questions that they're asking, and we do not see that. Nobody really does. It's you know, it's the improvement there in terms of the how fast you're getting to the insights and which areas are of concern. Something that flags something for you is really uh, impactful, yeah, on multiple grounds. So having that information at your fingertips and being able to ask specific question about something is really something that we've not seen before. I hope that this answers your question. Yeah. All right, let me just go and have a look at our Business Central. Yes, so here we have some information that has been just generated in front of our eyes in Dutch. And of course, quite similarly, we could do that in any Business Central language. Yeah. So this was the demo. I'm glad you all stayed. I hope it was informative. If you need any questions answered, please let us know. Let your partner know. Thanks for organizing this. Thanks for organizing this. And we're looking forward to for you to test it, trial it, and so on. Yeah. So thank you very much again, and I think that's all. Turn back to you.
Yeah, thank you, Camille. It was very thorough presentation. Thank you for that again. I think you answered all the questions from the chat at this point. Maybe perhaps we can do a last call for questions.
Yeah, happy to. If there's any other questions, please don't be afraid to ask. Yeah, it's a really simple, I'd say, installation and configuration. It really, literally, 15 minutes.
Looks like someone is typing again.
Someone's typing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Thanks.
not really a question.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
All right, looks like no one's really typing. Well, maybe we can just call it a day. I'll say thanks again, Camille, for your information.
Thank you.
And if someone wants some more information about the apps or the pricing, they can always check the App Store on our website. It's very open information. So yeah, I think we'll call it a day. Once again, thank you, Camille, and have a nice day, everyone.
Thank you all.
All right, bye-bye.